All right, well, let's get going. Thank you for joining How to Scale AWS Security Without Hiring More Experts. My name is Stephen Kuenzli. Hey, did you know that AWS IAM is too complex for regular teams to adopt best practices? And it's not just you. Heck, even AWS IAM experts cannot understand what's going on in most production accounts. I know it sounds crazy because we're so used to hearing about implementing least privilege with this one weird policy trick. And while policy tricks are important, I'm going to share 3 secrets with you today that are going to revolutionize the way you secure data and applications in AWS. I'm Stephen Kuenzli, and I'm founder of K9 Security and author of Effective IAM for AWS. And I've helped cloud teams fix IAM in their AWS accounts and help their organizations scale security out to their delivery teams. Today, I want to share the 6 pillars of a simple security program. So what is simple security? It's a set of tools and practices you can adopt to simplify AWS security so that you can scale it out to all your application teams instead of overloading 1 or 2 security specialists. It's how you integrate security into everyone's job so that it's a regular activity that gets done, like adding new features or improving reliability. So I'm going to share with you 3 secrets about the simple security program and how you can secure AWS and lower your risks, all without hiring more experts. If you have questions as we go along or comments, please drop them into the chat and we'll try to answer them in line, or we can follow up at the end and try to answer them. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've tried integrating security into our delivery process before, and we failed. But again, I'm going to show you a great way to simplify AWS security so you can scale it across your organization and stop needing so many experts. In the next 30 minutes, my goal is to help you believe that simplifying IAM is the key to unlock scalable security. And I'm going to show you our 6 pillars framework that will make it simple for you to achieve that result. Security needs to be self-service, standardized, and repeatable so your whole team can play and win. Because when you enable and motivate everyone to secure, you unload experts and accelerate delivery. Let's walk through what security looks like before and after simplifying it so you can scale. Here's before. 1 or maybe a few cloud security specialists handle all the security policy writing, usually as an interruption. And then it takes a couple days to get right, or maybe you just give up so you can ship. And what we're looking at here is a control loop. I'm a systems person, and security talks about controls. They often leave off the word loop. What we want to be able to do is treat access control as a loop where we declare or implement our intended access, and then we verify that we actually got the access out on the other side that we expected. And we should be able to do this continuously. The problem right now is that it may take 4 hours or 4 days to make a policy change. And then on the other side, we don't know what the effects of that policy are. It could take a couple days to figure it out. And even experts are going to get it wrong. This is what I call artisanal security policy engineering. Now, when we simplify the loop, what we'll be able to do is declare our intended access in a few hours, and an application engineer can do that themselves, or maybe with a little support from a cloud security guild. And then the measurement side of this control loop that assesses what the effective access is will happen basically automatically. And our people, who are the process controllers at the top of this loop, they'll have information that they can consume easily and directly. So a couple questions. Would you like for an app team to be able to review and manage access review for their own data stores? That's what this is on the right. With a scalable approach, reduce your load on senior DevOps and site reliability engineers, because a lot of folks only have one over here and they get overloaded. But over here, once we simplify and productize security, we expand the pool of people who can support security. Now I hear you. There are a lot of pieces that have to work to make your security engineering scale. Would you like to know how to scale security in practice? Here's the framework for scaling security. This framework is built on the proven change framework for creating change described in the best-selling book, Influencer, The New Science of Leading Change. This comes out of my consulting days. We're going to give people both the ability and motivation to secure their systems. And we're going to do that at 3 levels of scale: personal, individual, social, which means like your local and informal inter-team interactions, and then structural, which is like a department-wide and interdepartmental interactions and workflow systems. You need to cover 4 of these 6 boxes in order for your security change program to succeed. You can do them all, but we'll focus on the 4 that will probably help you succeed quickest. We recommend enabling security across all scales of your organization, then focus your motivation efforts at the personal level, then scale out incrementally. Don't worry, soon we'll dive into specific examples of these influence sources and see how they work in practice. What just appeared are a few of the practices that we will integrate into our security program for each source of influence. So we've seen customers using this framework quickly clean up the most serious issues in their accounts, even going so far as to discontinue external security services because they were no longer needed. We've also seen customers embed strong security into their delivery platforms and processes using our infrastructure code. That helped them scale load on security experts using training and guilds. Okay, so the first secret is that simple scales. The big idea here is that you need to productize and operationalize security in the same ways that you do for reliability, with libraries, monitoring control loops, training, support. This is important because there's no magic bullet. You're never going to make everyone into AWS IAM experts, and they wouldn't even work because experts get IAM wrong frequently. Instead, you need the whole organization to be able to operate at a higher level the vast majority of the time. They can do that with a collection of trusted infrastructure libraries, observability components, and processes that make securing data, reviewing access, and executing the control loop error-free, quick, and reliable. When you simplify IAM into something everyone can use and many people can support, you relieve the burden on experts in unblocked delivery pipelines. So the first source of influence, and it's the most important element of the simple security program, is to increase the ability of individual application and cloud engineers to build more secure systems. Currently, most organizations have at least 10 times as many app engineers as cloud security specialists. Because the app engineer's security requests are custom and one-off, specialists have to handle them one at a time, often interrupting their current work to avoid blocking delivery. We need to flip the script. Cloud security specialists should adopt or build components and reporting that provide simple to use security solutions that fit within the organization's reference architectures to 1, protect data from unintended access, 2, scope people and application principles to least privilege, and review access and converge it to what it's intended. Once you do that, you'll accomplish a few things. App engineers can self-service more than 80% of use cases, and the remainder become true exceptions. Application engineering can practice with these standard components using reference applications in a training environment. And you can train and support application engineering on standard solutions. And boom, now you have 10x more engineers who can do security. And that leads to socializing security. So now that you've standardized how security is done, gather your current security experts and security curious into a security guild where engineers can ask for help. There's always going to be questions. So build your organization's social ability for security by creating a security guild that develops, supports, and encourages security practices. The guild can congregate in an open group chat channel. Engineers can get help from people with both formal and informal security responsibilities. Guilds are a great way to scale the support load, surface problems with process training and components, and identify and document frequently asked questions. And now you have 10x more engineers to support security. We're scaling up pretty good. Okay, the next level, organization. Build the ability for your organization to manage security at scale by integrating the security information required to execute your standard access provisioning and review processes into your existing workflow systems. You don't need and you don't want another pane of glass. So integrate security into your organization's core information management infrastructure and processes. This enables engineers and managers to review security information in the tools they're already using. Typically, this means integrating with observability systems like Splunk and Datadog, issue management systems like Jira, delivery pipeline systems like Jenkins and GitHub Actions. You see, security information needs to be present in the places where engineers and managers do their jobs, or the case can be made that it's not really their job. Every time you force people to look in a special system for security, there's a switching cost, manual data integration costs, and reinforcement that security is different from their other work. Now let's switch gears from ability to motivation and cover the last step on our happy path. Motivate your engineers to do security work by first giving them control and autonomy for when and how they do that work. Once you integrate security into workflows alongside other day-to-day functional, reliability, and other work, you make it easy to prioritize and execute security work alongside that other work without special rules. Publish clear guidance about how security work should be prioritized and let the team execute. Realistically, most security work is probably a medium priority. So let teams execute that work according to its natural priority. And then hold them accountable for executing according to the predefined priorities in operations reviews and other management control loops. Second, run game day exercises so engineers can experience what bad outcomes from poor security feel like in a safe environment for them and customers. Give engineers a set of actions they can execute to exfiltrate or destroy their application's data in a test environment. Then let them do it. This builds empathy for why adopting the new practices is important and how a little effort using the simplified security tools can provide a lot of protection. The key to getting around this loop is that we've enabled the bulk of the organization to run it. No special expertise is required. We've invested in the organization's ability to secure its applications and verify they are secure, just like we might do with reliability or new feature development. And we're motivating individual engineers to execute the process and brought security into scope of periodic ops reviews for managers, directors, and VPs. Okay, we just walked through the happy path of a simple security program, but you might be thinking, that's a lot to build on your own, and you're right, but I have another secret to share. The second secret is that you can build a simple security program. The main thing to understand here is that you can adopt pre-built solutions and plug them into your program. K9 Security built reusable components, dashboards, integrations, processes, and training you need. And we applied usability science to make them easy to use. Let's illustrate those solutions through the lens of a continuous delivery pipeline. Okay, let's start with a prototypical continuous delivery process and see how the simple security program integrates into that pipeline and how K9 can enhance individual engineers and organizations' capabilities. First, application engineers can use the infrastructure code libraries for Terraform or AWS CDK to quickly implement least privilege access to data in S3 or protected by KMS encryption keys. They do that by declaring who should have access to that data with a simplified access capability model using words like administer resource, read data, and write data. The 6 K9 access capabilities are standard across each service and map to each individual service's API actions and permissions. So right off the bat, app engineers get a simplified, consistent experience to declaring their intended access. Second, K9 analyzes access to AWS APIs and data and reports what access capabilities each principal has in the same simplified language. This is the same activity that IAM experts struggle to get right. Further, there's no way for humans to keep up with the scale or rate of change in cloud environments. We really need a tool that's automatically doing this. Finally, the K9 katas enable the entire organization to review who has access to APIs and data using simple processes. With this model, you can make app engineering teams responsible for their own data, and you can have other engineering teams and managers implement periodic reviews, access reviews as part of governance. And this is how you integrate security into the continuous delivery process. So here's a question. Have you productized something complex for app engineers to use before? Perhaps reliability with easy to use auto scaling and availability monitoring? Does doing that for security make sense too? Because once you do that, you can finally understand who has access to what, deliver secure policies easily, and review and improve continuously. The DevOps way. Okay, let's see how engineers should be able to specify their intended access control. We'll just look at the interface here so we can see what a usable access control automation interface looks like. It'll be close to our human readable description. First, we translate our access data table of principals into variables that define who should have access, each access capability. Then we assign them into the policy in the right place. So this is a K9 style policy interface where you say who can read data, write data, etc. Notice that we've lifted up the conversation from the low-level details of IAM security policy to a language non-experts can understand and review. Now, the library turns these inputs into nearly 200 lines of key policy implementing least privilege. There are statements allowing each capability for authorized principals and denying everyone else. You can check the GitHub repo referenced below for details. And this style of policy generator is supported for Terraform and CDK, as well as S3, in addition to KMS. And this is what we need to do to get this least privilege job done quickly while improving security greatly. We know this because we have customers who have integrated our libraries into their microservice platform. And now the microservices data is secure by construction, and they can verify that with access reports. Let's dig into that now. Reviewing access is nearly impossible for humans to do accurately in production due to the complexity and flexibility of IAM, let alone the scalability challenge. Well, let's see how easy it is to perform essential access reviews with K9. We'll review access in Excel here, but remember you can do this in Splunk, Datadog, or Athena, any system that supports CSV or JSON. All right, I'm going to switch to a real report from the K9 dev account. And let's review who our IAM admins are. So I'm going to switch to this Principals tab. And notice what we have here. So identifying IAM admins with K9 is as simple as filtering the Principals worksheet on the Principal is IAM admin column and filtering for those that are true. And these are all of the principles that can change IAM configuration in one way. So writing like adding a policy, changing a policy, attaching a policy, creating a role, etc. Access review really doesn't get any simpler than what we just saw. And when customers analyze their production accounts for the first time, they're always surprised and delighted / terrified to find 3 to 5 unexpected IAM admins. Cleaning those up is the first order of business. Okay. All right. Now let's review access to access that principals have to APIs and data. So fresh off our discovery of IAM admins, customers want to know what data and APIs their principals can access. You can do that in the principal access summary. So say we want to know what data this CI user has access to. Well, it actually looks like a lot. And if we just focus in on DynamoDB, we can see that the CI user has sort of a generalized full access to DynamoDB. They can administer resource, delete data, read config, read data, write data, and administer resource. Oh, they have all those access to APIs. Now, you also notice they also have specific capabilities, or we call out specific capabilities to specific data sources, like this Terraform state lock. So what we can tell is that this this CI user has full access to this Terraform state lock DynamoDB table. And that's because K9 can evaluate both general access and specific access to resources. And this is important because IAM can allow very broad or very scoped access. So K9 handles both of those and everything in between. Now, if K9 can report who has access to data, maybe we should start there. So let's go to the resource access summaries, and let's take a look at what is the most important data source in this account, in this development account. It's the QM dev K9 reports bucket, which is a temporary storage location for access reports while we're processing them. And let's see who can read that from that bucket. Because a common question is, who can read my critical data? So we can see here that these are the 6 principals that can read data from this bucket, and this includes cross-account access. And what's interesting here is that there are a number of principals with a general capability to read all data from S3 buckets in this account, but only the ones explicitly allowed by the K9 generated bucket policy have access. So what we're seeing here is a verification that access has been closed down by the bucket policy. And K9's access analyzer analyzes effective access net of all service control, identity, and resource policies like bucket and key policies, which is really tricky to implement. So what you've just seen are quick executions of 3 of the K9 security katas. The katas are simple processes your team can follow to operationalize access review. There are 5 katas that help you review core identity security controls to keep your account safe and compliant with the identity controls of PCI, HIPAA, SOC 2, and just general best practice. Each kata is designed and optimized to take only 2 to 3 minutes to complete. The katas are so simple, one customer eliminated their external security service, saving a lot of money in the process. You can find them documented at the URL at the bottom of the slide, docs/katas. The third secret is that you can scale security culture. The main thing to understand here is that now you've enabled your organization to do security with simplified and standardized workflows. But now you need to motivate them to apply that knowledge by expecting security to be done in their daily work, providing encouragement, and changing your internal economy to value security. Motivation is key because motivation techniques provide the energy that powers culture change to integrate security into your organization's daily work. We already discussed increasing individuals' personal motivation by giving them clear expectations and control over when they do security work. Now let's quickly touch on 2 more practices to scale security culture. No influence is more powerful and accessible than persuasion from those we work with. Ridicule and praise from our peers and organizational leaders can do more to assist or hinder change efforts than any other source. Rolled eyes from a team lead can negate the good work of a cloud security team and the CTO's call to action. Praise people's effort to adopt your improved security processes, sympathize with their struggles, encourage their peers to help. This can be as simple as admitting a component is not working well and capturing that feedback for improvement. Conversely, sanction negative behaviors that affect the program's adoption. Call out non-constructive feedback as toxic to the organization and its customers. This is tough work, so ensure that the right people lead with encouragement, coaching, and accountability. Finally, integrate security into your organization's economy of measurements and incentives. Security should pay off, but probably not in special bonuses. Ensure that positive and negative incentives aren't undermining security. First, remove disincentives for integrating security into daily work. For example, after finding a security issue, be careful not to blame or penalize well-intentioned engineers. Use blame as postmortems to uncover opportunities for improvement. Then incentivize sparingly. Reward teams for doing the right thing and operating safely in their daily work. Don't over-justify security work with special bonuses. Treat security improvements as product improvements and recognize the importance of that work just like you would for reliability. For example, you can publish the total count of completed reviews and improvements in an organization-wide newsletter. Definitely report security metrics in your organization's ops review alongside other key metrics. Above all, hold teams accountable to organization-wide standards for delivering work according to its priority, and hold security process and component providers accountable for providing usable security solutions that help your organization scale. Okay, are you ready to give K9 a try to scale security in your organization? Here are some customer results we've seen. Results are pretty typical. You save 2 to 3 senior engineers, save on penetration tests, and be more effective. Reduce risk by securing critical principles and data. Now you can focus on scaling proven processes instead of building tools and frameworks yourself. In the near term, we see customers saving between $100,000 and $500,000 within a year. You can calculate your own ROI at the value of K9 security page available from our docs. This will help you uncover all the elements of cost, especially that cloud teams currently handle. They're sort of like off the books. Okay, here's the big question. What is scalable in-house AWS security worth to you? K9 Security is going to help you operationalize IAM access review with the katas. We're going to help you scale IAM access monitoring with understandable reports the entire organization can use. You're going to get reports delivered daily to integrate in your workflows, whether that's Excel, CSV, and JSON for Datadog, Splunk, or Athena. And we're going to support you using the K9 security infrastructure code libraries and integrating it into your delivery pipelines. Those are free, by the way. You can get that from GitHub right now. As a bonus, we'll help you develop your IAM improvement plan with 1 week of expert cloud security advisory. What that's going to do is we're going to help you tailor this simple security program to your own organization and advise you on how to get going, in addition to just understanding all of the data that's coming back about who has access to what. So, as we talked about before, we're going to help you save 2 to 3 senior engineers. We're going to scale with proven processes, and we're going to help you reduce risk. Now, the service is priced, the monitoring service is priced at $80 per month per AWS account. And you can get it hassle-free from the AWS marketplace. But today, as a special offer, we'll get you started for free with 3 accounts for 3 months. Just go to https://k9security.io/tryk9, sign up there. We'll contact you and get you going. Thanks. Take care. Go fast safely.